आता हाँ।
Respected members and ministers. I wholeheartedly welcome the House to the 2025 Youth Parliament. I hope that every member will maintain the decorum of the House. Today's session will start with the oath taking by new members. Oath taking new members to take oath or affirmation. Secretary General, please.
Take the oath in English, please. Nagpur constituency of West Bengal will now take oath or affirmation. Elected as the member of floor house of the 27th Youth Parliament, do swear in the name of God that I will bear true allegiance to the Constitution of India, as by laws established, that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of India, and that I will faithfully discharge duties upon which I am about to enter. you want to take oath or affirmation? Oath. In which language do you want to take oath? In Telugu, please. నేను సిరిచందనం నిజమైన విశ్వాసంతో భారత రాజ్యాంగానికి విధేయుడైన భారతదేశ సార్వభౌమత్వం ఐక్యత సమగ్రతను కాపాడుతూ ఒక సభ్యునిగా నాపై ఉన్న కర్తవ్యాలను నిర్భరతతో నిర్వహిస్తానని సత్యనిష్ఠలతో ప్రతిజ్ఞ చేస్తున్నాను. దేవుని సాక్షిగా భారత రాజ్యాంగానికి నిజమైన విశ్వాసం గౌరవం కలిగించుతూ భారతదేశ సార్వభౌమత్వం ఐక్యత సమగ్రతను కాపాడుతూ నాపై ఉంచిన పదవి బాధ్యతలను నిజాయితీగా భయపడి కాకుండా అనుకూలత పక్షపాతం లేకుండా నిర్వర్తిస్తానని దేవుని సాక్షిగా హృదయపూర్వకంగా నా పదవిలో నాపై నమ్మి అప్పగించిన ఏ విషయాన్ని కూడా అధికార బాహుళ్యాలను బహిర్గతం చేయను. రాజ్యాంగ పరిరక్షణ దేశ ప్రయోజనాల కోసం మాత్రమే గోప్యత కాపాడుతానని ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
It is my duty to inform the House of the sad demise of our former colleague, Mr. Ashutosh Chakravarti. He passed away at New Delhi on 2nd July 2024 at the age of 50. Mr. Ashutosh Chakravarti was a member of 27th Youth Parliament representing South Kolkata constituency of West Bengal. A doctor by profession and a social worker by devotion, he worked in the remotest areas, devoting his time and energy of the welfare of the mass and the upliftment of the backward classes. He was the founder president of the Mazdoor Union of the West Bengal wing, an able parliamentarian, prolific writer and fiery orator. He took keen interest in the proceeding of the House. May the Almighty give enough strength and courage to his brave family to bear such a terrible loss. Prime Minister
and my dear friends, it is quite shocking that hear the tragic news that our beloved colleague Mr. Ashutosh Chakravarti is no more. I don't have the words to describe his greatness. He was really a champion in backward classes and downtrodden. As the founder of Worker Union of West Bengal, he championed and pioneered the cause of the worker unit welfare. He was a great parliamentarian and an astute politician who represented his constituency consistently for 3 terms and sacrificed his comfortable life for the cause of the people of his constituency. Harbinger of the national integration movement and broad socio-political changes in the country. On behalf of the people of my country, to convey my deep sense of condolence and here tribute to the departed soul.
देता हूँ स्वर्गीय युवा सांसद डॉक्टर आशुतोष चक्रवर्ती को व्यथित हृदय से करते हुए परम पिता परमेश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि उनकी दिवंगत आत्मा को शांति प्राप्त हो। आशुतोष बाबू को मैं अपना अनु समझता हूं। हम लोग उन्हें प्यार से दीनबंधु कहकर पुकारते थे। उन्होंने एक डॉक्टर के रूप में देहाती क्षेत्रों में गरीब एवं असहाय लोगों की सेवा की। उनके द्वारा स्थापित किए गए अनेक विद्यालय, प्राथमिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र एवं जच्चा बच्चा चिकित्सालय उनकी अमरता के प्रतीक स्वरूप आज भी उनके महानता के प्रकाश स्तंभ है। उन्होंने श्रमिकों एवं मजदूरों का जीवन स्तर ऊंचा करने के लिए हर संभव प्रयास किए। इनके द्वारा स्थापित की गई पश्चिम बंगाल श्रमिक एकता संस्था केवल पश्चिम बंगाल के लिए ही नहीं, संपूर्ण भारत के लिए मील का दूर साबित होगी। जननेता, अनुभवी सांसद, समाज सुधारक और गरीबों के जीवन को आलोकित करने वाला सूर्य अस्ताचल को चला गया। लेकिन वे अपने कार्यों से सदैव आलोकित रहेंगे। मैं उनकी महानता एवं राष्ट्र प्रेम के आगे नतमस्तक हूँ। प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति प्राप्त करे और उनके प्रियजनों एवं परिवारजनों को शोक सहन करने की शक्ति मिले। जिंदगी और मौत की केवल कहानी है यही, थोड़ी उड़ जाती है चिड़िया, आधिया रह जाती।
Deep sorrow.
You to the house, my colleagues, the new ministers. Sapika, Minister of Textiles. Lihita, Minister of Law and Justice. Akhilesh, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, will the Honorable Minister of the Finance be placed to state? Why has the rate of the inflation in the country averaged 5.54 from 2023 until 2025, reaching an all-time high 7.16% in November of 2024? And what steps are being taken by the government to control the inflationary situation?
The rate of inflation in India has been very high in recent years. It reached all-time high up to 7.16% in November 2023, largely on account of food invaluation, in heavy rainfall in the month of June and subsequent loss of agriculture. Production has caused food crisis, however. The situation has improved in the recent months. Consumer prices have increased by 7.31% in the month of June 2024, the month of which is the lowest in the last 3 years. This inflation rate slowed down for the second consecutive month, mainly due to decline in food prices. In addition, there has been decline in the rate of increase in prices of fuel in the previous month. Prices of clothes and food were also down, though originally in the month of May. In order to reduce food invaluation further, the Reserve Bank of India (RBI) has kept the repo rates, reserved repo rates unchanged during June and July 2024. The repo rates which the RBI leads to system has been kept in 8%, while Reserve repo rate, the rate RBI pays to the bank to store their excess fund, has been kept at 7%. On the other hand, the cash reserve ratio (CRR), which the plans have to maintain with RBI to be continued with 4%. Given that excess demand in the economy also results in price rise, the government has also attempted to cut fiscal default from 4.5% to 4.1% of GDP, along with high rate of interest. A reduction in government spending is expected to reduce agreement demand in the economy, hence the rate of inflation. Further, the government has allocated funds towards development of infrastructure. It is expected that infrastructure development will facilitate increasing production, which eventually help in controlling the rate of inflation in long run.
Supplemented 5% during the last fiscal year. Will the Honorable Minister of Finance be placed to state? What steps is the Indian government taking of the accelerated growth performance of Indian economy?
Has linked to the dedicates low of 4% in 2023
24. Although the performance is slightly better as compared to the previous, still it is matter of serious concern that the economic growth has been less than represent 5% for the second successive year, mainly on account of impact of global financial crisis, of poor performance of agriculture and manufacturing sectors. However, there are signs of important in the growth performance of the Indian economy. In order to improve the growth rate in the current fiscal emphasis is being given on enhancing growth performance of agriculture and industrial sectors, implementation of policy measures revealing external demand, stable global capital markets, environmental and gradual raising in market-based rates. Rates is expected to boost investment spending and making the country an impacted destination for the potential investors. The government has also taken steps to fast-track major infrastructure projects.
Supplementary question, Miss Y. Chandrika.
What steps are being taken by the government to make the process inclusive?
The government also aims at making it inclusive. Accordingly, the government has introduced legal entitlements to work, education and information for public authorities. In addition, there is a plan to provide people a legal entitlement to have food at affordable cost. Regulation in this regard has been placed before the Parliament.
More supplementary question, please.
मैं आपके माध्यम से माननीय संसाधन मंत्री जी से यह जानना चाहता हूं कि एनसीईआरटी के पाठ्यक्रम में बार-बार बदलाव क्यों किया जा रहा है, जिस कारण शिक्षा की क्रांति में परिवर्तन हो रहा है और देश के छात्रों के एनसीईआरटी के पाठ्यक्रम से विश्वास हट जा रहा है और गरीब परिवार के बच्चों को हर बार नई किताब खरीदना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है। उनकी आर्थिक स्थिति पर हर बार बुरा प्रभाव पड़ता है। इस बार सरकार क्या करना चाहती है तथा पाठ्य पुस्तक में कुछ शब्द गलत हैं, उन शब्दों के द्वारा नकारात्मक प्रभाव तथा एनसीईआरटी के प्रति विश्वास कम हो जा रहा है। मेरा अनुरोध है कि उन्हें सही किया जाए। धन्यवाद।
Keeping in mind the objective of providing correct and up-to-the-date information to the students, we have to change the syllabus and the rapidly. It is not hidden from the changes stalking in the wall. The decision taken by the NCERT of the students, by the advised committee. Textbooks are concrete. We have to publish the textbooks. Therefore, I hope the textbook children on time. I have issued instructions to the principal of the school to take action in making the books available to the students. As for negligence of using wrong words in textbooks is concrete could like to tell my learned fans that such words have been used in some words because of the author's writing representation of the stories and the articles as per custom. To ensure that these do not have negative impact on children, instructions have been given to the same page as the use of such words in unconstitutional
years have either completed their tenure in northern eastern states or they less fit to be posted due to the health and family problems. After completing their tenure in hard stations, the teachers in NVS are given the choice to be reposted in any other places as per their choice. After that, it has been ensured that those teachers will not be transferred to any hard stations or northern east states in service career. Moreover, teachers below 40 years, energetic and fresh, fit in all respected to face the hardship of all stations and remote places of northern eastern states. Above all, the main objective of policy in field of the 60% vacancies lying vacant in those areas since long.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं मानव संसाधन मंत्री जी से उच्च शिक्षण संसाधनों में पिछड़े वर्गों के छात्रों के लिए की गई आरक्षण व्यवस्था के संदर्भ में प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूं कि आज भारत में लगभग 60% पिछड़े वर्ग से संबंध रखते हैं, लेकिन मानव संसाधन मंत्री जी ने क्या उन विद्यार्थियों के लिए सोचा है जो पिछड़े वर्गों में रहते हैं, जिन्हें पाठ्य पुस्तकें भी उपलब्ध नहीं हो पाती, अखबार, पत्रिका तथा प्रतियोगिता दर्पण तो दूर की बात है। भविष्य में इन छात्रों के लिए मंत्री जी के पास क्या योजनाएं?
I want to ask a question to the Parliament members in this regard. I thank you for your determination. I have also planned to make opportunities to the students of these backward areas. The students backward areas will be kept nearby the towns and expense of the government. Arrangement will be made in many educational institutions seat in reserve. In future, reservation of seats will be made for them in IIT and IIM. Also for the students of the backward areas. Thank you.
Ms. Manogna.
Government be pleased to state whether the government impose a ban on employing children on the recommendations on Technical Advisory Committee on Child Labour. If so, the details please thereof.
Employment.
According to the recommendation of the Technical Advisory Committee, under Section 5 of Child Labour Act 1986, employment of children government has issued a notification prohibiting the employment of children in the following two occupations: employment of children as servants or domestic workers, employment of children in roadside eateries, restaurants, hotels, shops or tea shops, other recreational centers.
Ms. Manogna.
For imposing such a ban after 70 days of which announcement.
Section 4 of Child Labour Act 1986, 3 months notice is required to be given by the government of its intention to add any occupation on the process of schedule, and it shall be demanded to have amended accordingly.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, according to the data available with the Labour Ministry in UP 19 lakhs, Bihar 11 lakhs, AP 13.6 lakhs, International Labour Organization expects that file a blanket ban without ending facilities for poor families, and these children are seen begging like places Puri, Hardwar, Tirupati as labour. In this context, I want to know the steps taken by the Labour Minister for rehabilitation of these children.
Employment.
Made to educate those children released work under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Secondly, the Minister of Women and Child Development has certain recommendations to make shelter who are homeless. Thirdly, under NCLP, state will open schools for child labourers under the age of 14. Each child will be enrolled in his or her name, and they will receive a monthly stipend of 500 rupees.
Miss Anya Sassoon.
Minister of Defense, please to state how the government is taking China's naval odyssey in Indian Ocean. What are the steps are being taken to counter the China's geostrategy in making our Indian Ocean its own lake?
Defense, please.
I would like to tell to our house that our government is taking aware of China consolidating power on Indian Ocean and South China Sea. In fact, China's ambitious the string of perils strategy which aims at enclosure the containment of India. We building naval points to the global energy choke paths or straits that are unknown to us, and we have taken some measures to counter this without comforting. Point number 1. We have built up some support systems in Japan and Vietnam, and we have a proposal to have coast guards, navies and air forces of the two governments in the action, and it is against pirates also.
Speaker Madam, will the Minister of Defense be pleased to state that what is the end to border conflict between China and its neighboring countries?
I would like to tell to my humble colleague that with each and every country have their own strong armies, there is no way. And all-out war can break between these countries. So, unlike the world wars, conventional warfare won't bring out a solution to these problems. With both India and China have nuclear weapons, it is a kind of deterrent which prevents war from happening. So, this leaves only diplomacy to solve this problem. As diplomacy have taken some time to solve this problem, as there are many complexes with different alliances and there is trade between two countries. So an exact time not framed cannot be said to bring out solutions to these problems.
Supplementary question, Mr. K. Sakshit.
China involvement in the construction of the deep sea point Gwadar on the southwest coast of Pakistan. Number 2. China building container ports in Bangladesh at Chittagong.
In conquered, sir, as Gwadar Falls major oil supply on sea route. But we can't stop the China from helping the Pakistan and Bangladesh, as we know no nation can interfere in other nations with helping of other nations and taking beneficially their ties to their nation. But I do issue the house that our naval strategy is for sea defense, and we shall not anybody play without security and shall not allow usage of Indian Ocean for strengthening military aspirations in the gears of commercial gains at any cost. Thank you.
105, Miss V. Aradhya.
Minister of External Affairs, be pleased to state what was the main document that have been signed at the BRICS summit and what was the necessity of doing it? Main document signed at BRICS summit was the creation of $100 billion BRICS Development Bank and the reserve currency pools worth over another $100 billion. The bank will aim at funding infrastructure projects in the developing nations. The reserve currency pools of $100 billion will help the members of the country to foster short-term liquidity pressure. The new bank reflects the growing influence of the BRICS, which accounts almost half of the world population
and about 1/5 of the global economic output. The bank will begin with a subscribed capital of $50 billion, divided equally into its 5 founders, with an initial total of $10 billion in cash put in over 7 years and $40 billion in graduates. The contingent currency pools will be held in the reserves of shifting to another members to correct balance of the payment difficulties. As far the necessity of it is concerned, I would like to share that we are disappointed and seriously concerned about the non-implemented of the 2010 International Monetary Fund reforms, which negatively impacts the IMF's legitimacy, credibility and effectiveness. It can be seen as a rival to the IMF and the World Bank. These initiatives gathered momentum after the reverse in the loss of cheap dollars that fueled a boom in the emerging markets for a decade. It will help contain the volatility of tapering of the United States policy of monetary expansion.
The minister that won't China try to exert greater influence over the bank to expand its political clout abroad.
I would like to state here that to China, holders of the world's largest foreign exchange reserves will contribute the bulk of the contingent currency pools, or $41 billion. Brazil, India and Russia will chip in the $18 billion. It has been decided that the first president of the BRICS will be from our country. Thus, its headquarters will be at Shanghai. China, however, will not preside over the bank for 2 decades. Hence, China could not assert greater influence over the bank.
On the table.
For the year 2024, along with the audit, accounts and comments of the Comptroller and Auditor, General Theron.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I beg here on the table a copy each of the following papers of English and Hindi version of Section 365A of the Companies Act 1964, review by the government on the working of Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, New Delhi, for the year 2024-25, annual report of BSNL, New Delhi for 2024, along with adjusted accounts and the comments of CAG thereon.
On my own behalf and on the behalf of the House, I have great pleasure in extending a warm welcome to His Excellency Mr. M. Sanju, the Speaker of Sri Lankan Parliament and the honourable members of the Sri Lankan Parliamentary Delegation who are on a visit to India as our honoured guests. The other honourable, the Deputy Speaker, C.H. Likita, the Foreign Minister. Tuesday, 18th August 2025. They are seated in special box. We wish them a happy and fruitful stay in our country. We also convey our warm greetings and best wishes to them, to the President of Sri Lanka, Prime Minister, Sri Lankan Parliament and the government and the friendly people of Sri Lanka. Youth Parliament.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, there is a message from the upper house of the Youth Parliament that the bill regarding the special package of amenities for the central government employees have been improved by the upper house.
Honorable members, I have received a proposal of no confidence motion against the Council of Ministers from honorable members of the opposition, Ms. Srinika.
Of the House.
Members, if you are in favor of the leave being granted, please raise up your hands. Thank you, honorable members. That is, this House expressed its want of the confidence in the Council of Ministers. Ms. Srinika to move the motion, please.
I move to the no confidence motion against the government. In this general, I want to bring to notice of the House that is government is failed in the every respect to bring economical development in the country. I would like to draw attention of the House towards the extremely poor condition water supply in the country. We find that in the whole of India, only 35% of the people has access to clean water and situations. As to 2023, only two cities, Thiruvananthapuram and Kota, get continuous water supply. So why has the government done nothing to improve the citizens with water? Thousands of children die every year due to the borne diseases. These diseases can be easily prevented by the providing clean and uncontaminated water. The government has done nothing to improve the situations. In the rural and urban areas, the percentage of the population is extremely high. About 50% of the people in urban areas live in acute property and the urban areas. This government has not taken any steps to provide jobs. This kept income of the common man compared to the countries of the West in extremely low. The condition of the education in our country is extremely poor. According to UNICEF, 25 million children in India have never been to school. Many children drop out of the school after completing 10th class. Only 15% of the school, tall and female, are educated in our country. This is the censure of the education in our country. The government is unable to provide our country proper water supply, proper education, even the healthcare system is symbols. Honorable Speaker, ma'am, as the government is do nothing to improve and develop our country economically, this government has no right to stay in power. Hence, the purpose of the no confidence motion.
Social Welfare, Ms. B. Aradhya, please.
Yes, now the honorable member cited some of the gravest problems the country is facing. In this regard, I would like to bring to the notice of the House as India has abundant sunlight and wind power. New private sector projects have been given incentives in these areas by our government. Villagers have been given grants to set up solar pumps and windmill farms to cut down the load on the conventional power grid. State electricity boards are also directed to reduce pilferage and transformation losses. As far as scarcity of water is concerned, our government and encouraged cities to invest in the water cycling plants and the micro level innovative solutions and being incorporated like rooftops, rainwater harvesting in homes has been promoted to control populations. The government has initiated family plans, programs promoting and discouraging earlier marriages. Government has started to provide incentives government and corporate sector to with small families. My honorable colleague has just now pointed out our government is not providing facilities for education in India. I would like to draw attention of the House towards the fact that the government has sanctioned 25,000 crores rupees to provide facilities in field of education, especially in rural areas. Midday meal schemes has introduced. The government agenda has creations of 57 new cities. Benchmark in civic. Oppose the no confidence motion against government. Thank you.
आपके माध्यम से पूरे सदन के सदस्यों को बताना चाहता हूं कि वर्तमान सरकार जहां एक तरफ देश को विकसित राष्ट्र बनाने का एवं मजबूत आर्थिक ताकत के रूप में चमकाने का रंग अलापती है, वही भुखमरी से मरने वाली जनता एवं कुपोषण के शरीर से मरने वाली जनता एवं कुपोषण के शिकार बच्चों की आहों को अनसुनी भी कर रही है। अशुभपूर्ण नेत्रों और मर्माहित हृदय से यह सूचित करना पड़ रहा है कि देश के विभिन्न प्रांतों में भुखमरी और कुपोषण से मरने वाले लोगों के परिवार में कोई आंसू बहाने वाला भी नहीं बचता है। राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग के जांच के नतीजे से वास्तविकता की झलक लोगों को मिल पाई है। आपने और पार्टी के सम्मान को बचाने के लिए सरकार ने कुछ आला अफसरों को नियुक्त किया है। रायगढ़ के जिलाधीश ने भुखमरी से मरने वाले लोगों की मखौल उड़ाते हुए कहा है, गरीबी विशेषता बन गई है। भुखमरी आदत सत्ता पक्ष के एक जिम्मेदार सांसद ने इंडिया टुडे पत्रिका के संपादक को साक्षात्कार में बताया है कि इसके लिए काफी हद तक अदचारी रिपोर्टर और सनसनी फैलाने वाले पत्रकार दोषी हैं। साथ ही उन्होंने एक शेर भी सुनाया है जो कुछ इस प्रकार है, भूखे हैं तो सब्र कर, रोटी नहीं तो क्या हुआ, भूखे हैं तो सब्र कर, रोटी नहीं तो क्या हुआ। आज कल दिल्ली में है घेरे बहुत से मुद्दा, मौत ने धर दबोचा कि मौत ने धर दबोचा, चीते की तरह जिंदगी ने सब छुआ, कुछ फासला रद्द कर छुआ। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, एबीपी न्यूज ने भुखमरी से मरने वाले लोगों के जो उद्देश्य दिखाए गए थे, क्या वह गलत थे? इंडिया टुडे से प्राप्त सीडी सदन के पलटन पर रख दिया गया है, जिसमें बाहर से भी अधिक लोग की भूख से मरने तथा प्रमाण है। यह सारी बातें अगर सच है तो एनएचआरसी की रिपोर्ट भी सही है, तो भुखमरी पर पर्दा डालने वाली सरकार को प्रशासन में रहने का नैतिक अधिकार नहीं है। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से सत्ता पक्ष में से यह जानना चाहूंगा कि ऐसी कठिन परिस्थितियों में गरीब जनता की भूख क्या बड़ी बड़ी बातों से समाप्त होगी? माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं पूरे सदन को बताना चाहता हूं कि वर्तमान सरकार को खिलाफ लाया गया अविश्वास प्रस्ताव सही समय पर उठाया गया कदम है। सरकार को स्वयं सत्ता में से अपने हाथ खींच लेना चाहिए। वर्तमान सरकार के प्रति से अपना अविश्वास प्रस्तुत करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
आपके माध्यम से मैं सदन के सदस्यों का बताना चाहती हूँ कि सरकार के खिलाफ जो अविश्वास प्रस्ताव लाया गया है उसमें तथ्यों को काफी तोड़ मरोड़ कर प्रस्तुत करना गया। इस संदर्भ में मैं सरकार के उत्तरदायी तथा कार्यालय सदन के अवगत करना चाहती हूँ। वर्तमान सरकार के कार्यालय में भुखमरी और कुपोषण से किसी का मौत नहीं है। जुलाई टुडे के प्राप्त तथा NHRC से प्राप्त रिपोर्ट का वास्तविकता पर पता लगाने के लिए तुरंत जांच आयोग करना गया है। जांच आयोग की रिपोर्ट के अनुसार घटना एक बेबुनियाद पाई। डांबर गुड़िया की मौत लंबी बीमारी का कारण हुई। उस समय उसकी विधवा के बैंक खाते में 6,000 रुपये जमा थे। जुलाई इंडिया के आदिवासी महिला को इंडिया टुडे ने मृतक बताया था। सच नहीं थी। वास्तविकता यह है कि वह जीवित है। गायब की भुखमरी की झूठी खबर फैलाकर कुछ लोग अपनी राजनीति का छोटी सेकना चाहते हैं। उनके इस कदम को कुछ पत्रकारों ने झूठ रंग देकर उछाला था। अत्यंत ही दुख और खेद का विषय है कि वर्तमान को रोटी का समय को हुआ करने के बाद से सरकार को गिरने की फिलक दे है। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, आपके माध्यम से मैं विपक्ष को यह बताना चाहती हूँ कि यह सामयिक कालीन बीच कर बैठने का नहीं, बिल्कुल किचन की परवाह न करते हुए जनता की सेवा का है। बाढ़ की संभावनाएं सामने है और नदियों के किनारे घर बने हैं। आपके कालीन देखेंगे किसी और दिन, अभी तो पाव कीचड़ में सने हैं। धन्यवाद।
The House government boasts of the policy of liberalization, and liberalization has benefited many. Still, millions of our citizens are plagued by illiteracy, diseases and malnutrition. This government has also failed to create employment opportunities where unemployment has already become the great problem. Under the regime of this government, disparities are high and educational, nutritional and health levels of women are much lower than those of men. Lastly, I can conclude that as this government has failed in every respect to fulfill the expectations of the citizens, it should not have any right to stay in power. Speaker Ma'am, I strongly support this no contest motion. Thank you.
Please.
Strongly disapprove the views put forth by Honorable College. What he has presented before the House is all baseless. Third, unemployment is one of the biggest problems facing the country today. Our government has taken initiative in setting up employment generation board that will look into ways of enhancing employment opportunities for citizens. It will work right down to the district, tehsils and block levels. In order to check corruption, the government has initiated some administrative measures to streamline the working of the official machinery. We are all set to revamp the working of the Panchayat Raj institutions. Our government has also taken the initiative to predict forecast most of the natural hazards and resilient disasters with fairly high degree of accuracy with the help of advanced technology. Central Water Commission has several early warning points on the several flood rivers with the assistance of IMD. These early warning points generate timely data about excessive discharge of water due to heavy rains, and people living in downstreams are warned to vacate the flood-prone areas well in time. As far as literacy is concerned, the target of our government is to 2026 when 100% literacy will be achieved. For this, the government has taken up midday meal scheme, Operation Blackboard and parent awareness campaign to send their children to school. To stop gender disparities, there has been complete ban on the identification of the bodies and and awareness is spread among the women and the health status is attended to. Therefore, Honorable Speaker Madam, our government is doing its best to bring development in the country. So there is no reason to bring no confidence motion against the government. Hence, I strongly support this no confidence motion.
Speaker, I want to bring to the notice of the House of Appropriate and step RS 7.50 rise in price of petrol, which is going to further escalate price of all commodities. The potential petrol pump which the government has dropped has put additional burden on people already badly hit by price rise. यह जो पेट्रोल और डीजल की साढ़ेसाती है, इस सरकार ने इस गंभीर मुद्दे पर विपक्षी दलों से चर्चा तक नहीं की। इस बढ़ोतरी को किसी भी हाल में नहीं माना जा सकता है। इस मूल्य वृद्धि से घरेलू अर्थव्यवस्थाएं चरमरा गई हैं। पिछले 3 वर्षों में पेट्रोल की कीमत 16 बार बढ़ाई गई है। यह हालात देखकर मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, वाह सरकार तेरा ख्याल, सस्ती दारू महंगा तेल। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, पेट्रोल और डीजल के दामों में उछाल है, पर सच्चाई यह है कि पेट्रोल और डीजल के साथ न थमने वाली महंगाई के कारण लोग अधिक त्रस्त हैं। सरकार के तमाम दावों के बावजूद इन्फ्लेशन।
Honorable Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, please.
मेरा यह मानना है कि कभी कभी बीमारी के इलाज के लिए कड़वी दवा भी लेनी पड़ती है। कभी कभी इम्यूनिटी बढ़ाने के लिए दिए गए इंजेक्शन से तेज बुखार भी आता है, पर उससे लाभ ही होता है।
माननीय सांसदों के विचार का मैं आदर करता हूं, परंतु मैं विपक्षी साथियों को कई राज्य सरकारों द्वारा वैट में कमी किए जाने की याद दिलाना चाहूंगा। पेट्रोल और डीजल पर राज्य सरकार की तरफ से 15% से 35% कर लगाया जाता है। अतः पेट्रोल और डीजल के मूल्य में वृद्धि का कारण केवल केंद्रीय सत्ता पर फोड़ना ठीक नहीं है। राज्य सरकारों को भी जनता को राहत देने में उपायों पर अमल करना चाहिए। साथ ही रुपए में अवमूल्यन के संदर्भ में मैं यह साफ कर देना चाहता हूं कि इस संदर्भ में रिजर्व बैंक सतर्क है, सहज है। आरबीआई ने रिपो रेट बढ़ाने के आवश्यक निर्देश दे दिए हैं। CRR कैश रिजर्व रेशियो और SLR बढ़ाने के निर्देश भी दिए गए हैं। अंतरराष्ट्रीय तेल बाजार में उथल-पुथल होने व आर्थिक मंदी के चलते यूरोपियन संघ के आधे दर्जन देशों के सामने दिवालिया होने की स्थिति है। मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था मजबूत है, वह हम 9% की विकास दर हासिल करेंगे। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, सरकार की तरफ से इतने सारे कदम उठाने के बावजूद विपक्षी दलों के द्वारा लाया गया अविश्वास प्रस्ताव दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। मैं इस अविश्वास प्रस्ताव का पूर्ण रूप से विरोध करता हूं।
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I would like to draw the attention of the House towards the pathetic conditions of women in our country. For ages, women in general have been suffering from agony, distress, discrimination and apathy. I would like to know that what is the government has been doing to solve these problems. There are women in our country who have not seen light at the other side of the corner. This is the condition of our country. The government is constantly giving us fake promise of passing the reservation of women in parliament. Want help? This is not to be the end of solution for all the problems that our country is facing today. Historical conditions of women in our country has always been very bad. About 1/3 of Indian population cannot even read or write. The rate of illiteracy is particularly high in rural areas, especially among the social marginalized communities of SCs and STs. For instance, according to the 2011 National Consensus of Urban and Rural Literacy rates in the India's 70% and 50% respectively. The overall literacy rates works out of the 64.8%, where the female literacy rate is 48.7. The situation is worse in rural areas. Then what will be the government do by just merely passing the bill? The government has so far not taken any serious steps to ensure education facilities of women and has not fought for their recognition in the parliament. So, Honorable Speaker, lastly, I can conclude that with such a pathetic scenario that our country is facing, the government has no right to say in the power.
Development is in 1993, a constitutional amendment was passed in India that called for a random one-third of the village council leader or Pradhan positions in Gram Panchayat to be reserved for women. The village council is responsible for the provision of village infrastructure such as public buildings, water and roads, and for identifying government programs beneficiaries, although all decisions in the village council are made by the majority. The Pradhan is the only full-time member and exercise significant control over the final council decisions. Recent research on the court system has revealed that it has changed perception of women abilities, improved women electoral changes, and raised aspiration and educational attainment for adolescent girls. There is a long-term plan to extend this reservation to Parliament and legislative assemblies. In addition, women in the education and jobs. Its opposers consider this preferential treatment of women in India as discrimination against them in admissions of schools, colleges and universities. Under non-formal education program, about 40% of the centers in state and 10% of the centers are in United States are exclusively reserved for females. As of 2000, about 0.3 million on NFE centers were categorized into about 7.42 million children, out of which about 0.12 million were exclusively for girls. Certain state-level engineering, medical and other colleges like in Orissa have reserved 30% of their seats for females. The Prime Minister of India and Planning Commission also vetoed a proposal to set up an Indian Institute of Technology exclusively for females, although Indians had witnessed substantially improvement in female literacy and enrollment rate. Since the 1990s, the quality of education for females remains to be heavily compromised as the country continues to hold greater value for male than female. In 1997, in a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court of India took a strong stand against the sexual harassment of women in workplace. The court also laid down detailed guidelines, prevention and redressal of grievance. The National Commission for Women subsequently elaborated these guidelines into a code of conduct for employees. The Indian Parliament passed the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, which came into force from 9 December 2013. The Act seeks to protect women from sexual harassment at their place of work and provide an effective grievance redressal mechanism. Hence, Honorable Speaker Madam, as the government is trying its best to pass Women Reservation Bill by giving full support. Thank you.
Now, Honorable Leader of
माननीय
आपके माध्यम से सदन के सदस्यों को ये अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि वर्तमान सरकार जनता की आकांक्षाओं एवं राष्ट्र की प्रतिष्ठा के प्रतिकूल कार्य कर रही है। इस संदर्भ में कुछ तथ्य वर्णित करना चाहता हूं। हमारे देश के कई भागों में भयानक सूखा पड़ा हुआ है। किसानों की सारी फसलें सूख चुकी हैं, पीने के लिए पानी भी उपलब्ध नहीं है। ऐसे विकट स्थिति में भूख से तड़पते किसानों एवं पशुओं की पीड़ा को दूर करने के लिए सरकार कुछ भी नहीं कर रही है। वर्तमान सरकार के कार्यकाल में लघु उद्योग, कुटीर उद्योग लाल फीताशाही की जठराग्नि के का हवाले हो चुके हैं। औद्योगिक घरानों एवं पूंजीपतियों की उंगली के इशारों पर चलने वाली सरकार बहुसंख्यक ग्रामीण जनता की उपेक्षा कर रही है। ऐसी दिशा विहीन सरकार से संपूर्ण जनता आतंकित एवं नाराज है। सन 1964-65 के कोठारी आयोग में शिक्षा का व्यावसायीकरण करने का सुझाव दिया था ताकि विद्यार्थी स्वरोजगार से अपने पैरों पर खड़े हो सकें। वर्तमान सरकार शिक्षा नीति में बदलाव लाने की दिशा में कोई प्रयास नहीं कर सकी है। सरकार की गलत शिक्षा नीति के कारण प्रमाण पत्र एवं उपाधि पत्र धारण करने वाले शिक्षित बेरोजगारों की संख्या दिनों दिन सुरसा की मौत की तरह बढ़ती जा रही है। वर्तमान सरकार के कार्यकाल में ग्रामीण विद्युतीकरण योजना को पूर्ण रूप से विराम लगा दिया गया है। गांव में प्राथमिक स्वास्थ्य सुविधा भी उपलब्ध नहीं की जा रही है। विकास के इस युग में भी वर्तमान सरकार ग्रामीण जनता का जीवन स्तर ऊंचा उठाने के लिए उन्हें राष्ट्र बैंक की सुविधा नहीं प्रदान कर रही है। गांव में निवास करने वाले 60% ग्रामीण जनता की उपेक्षा करने वाली सरकार को सत्ता में बने रहने का कोई नैतिक अधिकार नहीं है। इस सरकार ने आतंकवादी और नक्सलवादियों के आतंक को दूर करने के लिए कोई प्रयास नहीं किया। जाने कैसी हवाएं हैं जिन्होंने आज कल फूल की हर पखुंडू से मुस्कुराहट छीन ली। मैं उसे दुश्मन कहूँ या दोस्त जिसने पर दिए हैं लेकिन परों से फड़फड़ाहट छीन ली है। माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, जनता की मुस्कुराहट एवं फड़फड़ाहट छीन लेने वाली इस सरकार को सत्ता में बने रहने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। अतः वर्तमान सरकार के प्रति लाए गए अविश्वास प्रस्ताव का मैं पूर्ण रूप से समर्थन करता हूं।
Will give his statement.
Honorable Speaker, ma'am, I want to bring to the knowledge of the House that our government has called for an urgent need to provide employment in rural areas, especially in areas suffering from prolonged drought. The Food for Work program is an important part of the government strategy to deal with this challenge. Investment in infrastructure is sped up to generate new jobs. Government has given necessary trust to small and medium enterprises, agro-indians and tourism where there is high job potential. Our government has identified 7 sectors to be the pillars of the development bridge. This will ensure high economic development. They are agriculture, water, education, healthcare, employment generation, urban renewable and infrastructure. The government is emphasizing the key areas to achieve growth and socio-economic justice. A government has outlined 3-pronged strategies to devise employment-oriented education system. Firstly, highlighting the importance of entrepreneurs and preparing students right from the college education to get towards the setting of the enterprise. The curriculum of arts, commerce, science will include the topics and practicals where such entrepreneurs is possible, where such example vocational courses like IT, retailing, etc. have been introduced in some KVS. Secondly, have been introduced in some banking trying to implement the mega programs such as rural connectivity, interlinking of rivers, infrastructure and power sector, mission and tourism development. Our government has emphasized on good neighborly relations. We are not only bound together by our common borders, but also by our common destiny. The peace and prosperity of India and its neighbors can bring full-scale development. Our government has accorded the highest priority in building closer political, economic and cultural ties with its entire neighborhood. I can assure the House that the program and policies of our government will certainly bring development by 2026. By then, India will be in the list of developed countries to fulfill dream. Our government needs the cooperation and constructive suggestion of the opposition. Hence, I would like to request the members of the House cutting across the party lines to vote against the motion. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker ma'am, I listened to what the member participating in the data have said regarding the non-confident motion. Here, I want to draw the attention of the House to the fact that the NSSO 66 road service reveals that the government generate 2 million jobs in the contrast to the Planning Commission target to the 58 million jobs in the 5 years. The reliance in the rate of unemployment has increased the next problem. Honorable Speaker ma'am, I express the grave concrete over the generating law and order situation in the capital. In the recent past, New Delhi has expressed its support and released in the incidents of the robbery, Bikondi murder and several kids of the crime. Honorable Speaker ma'am, this government is doing nothing to thought the city has been witness brute assaults on the human. The government has absolutely not clean strictly to fight the criminals. These are the ungenerated need to improve the law and order. Situation in the New Delhi, which has been vitally prevent to the unself-government. Delhi as the national capital. So why has the government not taken any steps to control these crimes? A total of 2,44,270 incidents of the crime against women have report in the year 2024 between 2023 and 24. A 6.4% increase has been reported in such crimes. There are several changes that are plugged in the issues of the human rights in India. This government has done nothing to overcome these changes. Hence, the government has failed in every respect to fulfill the expectation of the people. It has no right to stay in power. Honorable Speaker ma'am, I don't think that motion of should be withdrawn. I would like to request to you take the decision of the House in the regard time.
Now the question is final decision of the House on the no confidence motion. Those who are in favor of the motion will please say aye. The noes have it, the noes have it, and the noes have it. A majority of members are against the motion and the motion is defeated and the government continues.